At the turn of the 21st century, few Americans had heard of genomics. The term and its cognates had never appeared in a public opinion poll. The phrase Human Genome Project, an enterprise to which taxpayers in several countries were contributing almost $3 billion, appeared only 125 times, less than a dozen times a year, in American newspapers between May 8, 1989 and January 1, 2000. 20 years later, genomic science is everywhere. DNA tests determine whose dog soiled the sidewalk and whether a dog of questionable ancestry is acceptable to a co-op board in New York. DNA tests determine if the fish in your sushi is really salmon, who poached deer or elephants, and who stole sheep. Genomicists are working to reverse the extinction of woolly mammoths and to restore genetic diversity to the cancer-ridden Tasmanian devil. The consulting firm Battelle reports that oil and gas developers are tracking polar bear activity through DNA left on their paw prints. The dating service Gene Partner sells the possibility of finding one's mate through genomic tests. Love is no coincidence, matching people by analyzing your DNA. At home during a COVID-19 lockdown, you can play the board game Metanon, the biocode adventure with your children while glancing at the poster of your own or your loved one's DNA that is the focal point of your living room art collection. In a less frivolous vein, DNA tests determined if the person assassinated by American troops in 2011 really was Osama bin Laden. DNA tests were used to identify 7,000 victims of the 1995 Srebrenica massacre and to reassemble scattered body parts. They can identify bone fragments of soldiers lost in World War II. DNA tests using stored rape kits can point to perpetrators or exonerate people convicted of a felony years after a sexual assault occurred. Genomic research can find the cause of rare diseases, and gene therapies contribute to fighting the monster inside of cancer, brain disease, retinal dystrophy, or junctional epidermolysis bullosa. Genetically modified foods deliver vitamins to malnourished babies. Genetically modified mosquitoes might eliminate dengue fever or malaria. Genetically engineered bacteria might clean up oil spills. Prenatal genetic therapy might prevent devastating diseases in newborns. Germline gene editing might someday do the same for generations to come. Genetic ancestry tests permit a New York resident named Mika Stump, who grew up in foster homes, to declare, "Now I have a place where I can go back and say, this is who I am. This is my home." That's something I never ever expected to say.